we are on live. I'm sorry for the time, and we had a technical issue. We don't control technology, but we can start now. Christine, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Great. So thank you all for joining IRI series conversation. And today I'm receiving for you Christine Dikongue. And Christine is a co-founder of AfricaHacks. And she's also a board member of Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce and also co-founder of Nanuric, her new business. So actually, before we even go further, I would like to, Christine, in your word, can you briefly tell us about your journey and how do you started in tech?
So my name is Christine Dikongue, as you mentioned. I'm from Cameroon. A little bit more about like my upbringing. I lived and worked in many different countries such as Kenya, Mozambique, Madagascar, France, and I currently live in Toronto. So I'm a passionate community builder, a mentor to many women, men, and young girls. And I love to use my voice and experiences to empower and advocate for youth, women, and minorities. So that's kind of what's going to define me. So my journey into tech is after completing my bachelor in economics, I did a project management certificate in postgraduate certificate in IT from University of Toronto. And shortly after that, I started working in marketing technologies. Really, that was really at the very beginning of where we mix marketing and technologies together, how we can use automation to better reach to our customers online and offline. And really kind of like my passion really started there. And then afterward, I remember last year in May, I went to Ottawa to assist to the Open Government Partnership, which was a big, huge initiative, and the government of Canada was actually sharing it. And there we were talking about what's happening right now, the fourth industrial revolution. We were talking about data. We were talking about virtual reality. We're really talking about all of those new high tech that we're hearing today. And I remember back then, wow, that's so great. Like, how can I, get it part of it? So really what I then start doing is to be joining technology conferences, getting to know the different subject, learning about it, because the beautiful thing about those new emerging technologies is that they're emerging. So anyone can be an expert. It's just a matter of your willingness to learn that new technology and your willingness to be a subject matter expert if you're not the person that's building the technology. So really that's kind of how it started. And then I started my consulting before even the company was created. Nanuric was created. I was already consulting for big banks into service robotics and employee experiences. So that it really started as as a passion and as an interest, and really started to get my way in there to events and into opportunity that was shared with me. That's kind of how. And then in the middle of the pandemic, I was like, well, before I was really, getting there, not necessarily with a title, but I was more having like independent consulting gig. So I did it. I just wanted to go through with it. So that's kind of how I founded Nanuric. In the middle of the 2020 global pandemic, where I lead a team of technologists and innovators focused on creating and bringing forward emerging technologies to create personalized virtual experiences framework and offer innovative consultation for the future of work and living. So, yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I can see that you have a rich experience and also you are very dedicated woman and very dynamic in community. That I can testify it. And because we had a chance to talk, exchange a bit, so I know how dynamic you are. That's fantastic. So tell us about your company, your new company, Nanuric, and why do you create Nanuric?
So I think what was happening during the pandemic is my parents live currently they live in Africa, they live in Cameroon. So I think I was then where I wanted to show my dad that I can help them move some of the businesses online. And for me, really started from the fact that, I have all the resources that I need to be able to do something as simple as bringing a businesses online. Well, people would just say, well, it's a website. But the thing is, when you are in the middle of the fourth industrial revolution of the digital era, you realize that you need more than a website. You need a website that will be able to have a chatbot there. Do you have a chatbot on your website? What happened when you're sleeping and then, someone is on your website, and maybe someone with the globalization, maybe someone that's in another different time schedule, time zone. And what happened when this person goes into your website? Well, start thinking about, incorporating a chatbot. So then once you're sleeping, that chatbot is actually talking with your future customer and bringing them into an experience that you won't be able to deliver because you may be sleeping. So really looking into all those different aspects of what it is really, how can we continue to convey business in the world when we're saying that we have to keep our social distance. So really what we do and who we are is we are engineer, product manager, and data science. You have come together behind a mission to really create innovative products. And we do exist to make virtual experiences real. So we really focus on VR. So right now we're building some products. Hopefully we'll be able to release the product by the end of this year, one of our first products. So really, we really exist to make virtual experiences that people anywhere can feel like they are in the same room, regardless of the distance between them. And I think that we are one of the first Black-owned company in Toronto that are focusing on creating an innovation lab around the future of working, living. So we use emerging technology to build personalized experiences framework for our clients and when we also do offer consulting services for people that are interested to get the business into their space or to have a fresh, you can look into our website, www.nanuric.com. So that website was built by us. It's completely available in French and in English. And we work with clients and brands in Canada and around the world to create solutions that are ethical and suitable. What am I saying that solutions that are ethical and suitable? Because we know that we are in the middle of these emerging technologies, and we know that some of those technology are, some of them don't necessarily respect the privacies and all those different things. But when we create those products, we ensure that they're ethical and they're abiding into our human rights and the space. So we create solutions that are not too invasive into your life.
That's fantastic. So your partner are all here based in Toronto, Canada, or they are all worldwide?
Well, right now, the core team is based in Toronto, Canada.
Okay.
And one other business that we do have people that are based kind of everywhere. It's AfricaHacks. So Nanuric is more like, right now, the innovation hub is really happening into Canada. All the people that we're working with are in Canada. But what we want to do is start expanding. But right now our work, the team is in Canada, but we're working with people around the world. But then on the side, that's why I was very interested in co-founding AfricaHacks, because now AfricaHacks has a bigger platform. AfricaHacks, the intent of AfricaHacks is to reach Africa and so much more. So the core team members at AfricaHacks are actually in Africa. Some of the leadership team are scattered in Canada. What we do at AfricaHacks is that we are a group of African professionals, and we have come together behind a mission to enable African youth like us to create tech companies and get tech jobs. So really, you see what I'm able to do with Nanuric. So right now, Nanuric, that's kind of like my company with another co-founder. So what we're saying at AfricaHacks that we want to enable other people to be able to create companies like us, and we have a framework where we're taking a youth that maybe never wanted to be in tech or never thought that you belong in tech. So we're taking one of the ideas, we are there with them. We're taking from the moment that they have the idea, we transform the idea to a project, and that's through our hackathon that we have online. And we'll be having the largest hackathon in Africa. It was Niger Hack. So with this we have this process that was working, and now we want to replicate that process, and that's kind of how we create AfricaHacks in order to expand. And as I mentioned earlier, I lived in different countries in Africa, so for me, that's kind of an opportunity to now bring this AfricaHacks to digitally to all the countries that I used to live in: Kenya, Mozambique, South Africa. Kenya for a start, Cameroon for a start, for example, then continue expanding it. So we are proud of our startup creation process that we have, where we created hundreds of African tech company, where we want to create hundreds of African tech company in the long term. Right now in our AfricaHacks startup creation program, like as I mentioned, that take you from an idea to a project to a company. We have over 15 companies. Out of those 15 companies, we do have already some success, such as you have one company that's completely dedicated into mental health, and they're located into Nigeria. And you know that mental health is not a, it's not like a subject, it's a very sensitive subject, especially in Africa, especially for the Black community. So we're very happy that we have one of our founders that got accepted into the Queen University, the Queen Innovation Center. They got a grant through our different programs. And we also have some success story, like we have a citizen safety app that's actually what they do is that they created they won the citizen safety app, and they were actually trending during the protests and uprising around the world, because now we realize that we created we created a company with the defined solutions that answer into a problem. And we saw that problem around citizen safety, because all the citizens were going out and protesting for various reasons. And our tech company was actually that app that's through our program was one of the most downloadable app on the Google App Stores. So I think that's when we see success stories like this for us, we feel like we're actually doing the right thing, and empowering the youth to harness the technology, leveraging technologies, and leveraging interconnectivity, online connection, to be able to share the solution to the world.
Yes, talking about Africa, much like the rest of the world, African nations are still struggling with gender equality, and again, like the rest of the world. But these disparities are also particularly in the technology space. How do we address the issue? How do AfricaHacks has planned to address the issue to tackle these disparities?
Yeah, so I like what you say, is because we started AfricaHacks. It was kind of a brainchild of our co-founder, our founder Uche Tubeke, a Nigerian Canadian engineer. So he wants Africa to make an opportunity available to African youth to start tech company or get good tech jobs. So where it started is because the founder was seeing those disparities that you're mentioning into technology. Because when he moved into Canada, he started going to those hackathons in Harvard, in Princeton, in Yale, and all those big Ivy League schools. And he was like, oh, wow, if I had this type of engagement when I was in university, or not even in high school when I was in Nigeria, maybe my interest for tech would have started earlier on. So he does, because of those disparities that you mentioned, then he started creating the hackathon, and creating those experiences that he witnesses in North America, and he started replicating it into Nigeria. So that's kind of how it started. So the question is, we need to sparkle engagement. So we do it through our hackathons, we do it through our visual engagement, to our visual programs that we're hosting. And we also do this right now. We are running the State of Tech. So I will share the link with you if you have anybody that's currently living the African continent. So we have the State of Tech survey, and we're actually surveying our user of our platform, because we call them customer if it's a company, right? So we're actually surveying them. So then we're asking them, what is the state right now? What's happening? Can you explain us some of the disparities that you see, and that the certain things that you will need in order to make those reality, those misfortune, like those obstacle and opportunities. So some of the big points that keep on coming is access to data, is access to computers, and it's access to electricity, because we have those disruption of electricity all over West Africa, and I'm pretty sure maybe the same things happen in some other countries in Africa as well, right? So we really, in order to address the disparity, we really need to get back to the basics, like, do they have access to computer? Yes, if they do. Do they have data? Oh, yes, if they do. Do they have access to the electricity that will enable all of those things together? So I think it's a thorough work because when you think about Africa, you know that 60% of the population are under 25. So knowing such an important fact like this, it has to make you think that, we're right now in Canada, we see different policies aimed towards youth, aimed towards diversity, minorities. We need now to start looking into Africa and to see like, okay, what can we do to ensure that, okay, if there's no policy that's actually pushing the inclusion of those youth voices, what can we do us as diasporan? What can we do us as Black youth diaspora? And I have to say that we're also youth. What can we do to ensure that we are bridging the gap, the disparity gap? And I think we can do it in creating platform like this platform that we're creating. We can do this into sharing what everybody is doing and ensuring that we're all meeting a collective impact.
Absolutely. And AfricaHacks, with everything you just have enumerated, like I think that we need that the change in Africa in technology. We need to involve more young people to learn about technology, to be familiar about technology, and to know that technology right now is becoming increasingly something, yeah, something that is taking more space. Like technology is, we use technology now in our daily basis. Like it's something that we need to focus on, like even on education. We need also incorporate the technology in our education system for women and young people to get familiar and to know what is the technology words, to make it accessible to everyone. So for you, what is the challenge technology growth? What is the challenge of technology growth in Africa?
Well, I think I just mentioned like the main challenge, and I guess I don't like to speak. I don't like to speak for the African that are living there. So as I say, the main challenge is that we are actually having a survey. So I will share the survey with you. If you have community that lives in Africa, they can add the voice into the survey. So the main challenge is to access those because you have to think about it. Yeah. When we were in the pandemic, we got into pandemic, in Ontario, before the pandemic, our government has already said that we're going to have some classes online. Some people had something to say about it. But for me, when it happened, I was like, well, that kind of makes sense. If we're now normalizing online learning, it means that, what does it mean for Africa? It means it's a big opportunity. It means that we'll no longer have to build all the schools that everybody has been building for I don't know how many years. Like honestly, like it means that we have a way that we can hack African education through online learning. So the biggest challenge that I see, it's actually an opportunity, right? Is actually understanding that technology is there to advance education in Africa. It's not there to bring us backward. And the best way in order to do that is for us to stand in the way of technology at the same time. Yes, we are with you, but also, okay, we're with you, but this is what you need to do to ensure that our African youth have access to this technology. We saw that in Ontario, how in one day, the whole school went online. In Africa, it didn't take one day for people to go online. I know in certain African countries, people was doing class on WhatsApp. And WhatsApp started having classroom, and the classroom that's connecting to Facebook. There's a reason that they have those type of things, Those WhatsApp classroom that you see right now, it's not for countries like Canada. They're for emerging communities that, to your point, have they saw that with the educational system that was not fully online, they saw that it was an obstacle for them to reach the user. But they realized that everybody has Facebook, everybody has WhatsApp. Regardless, we know that everybody with and whether it's an Android phone, whether it's an iPhone, everybody has those two things, WhatsApp and Facebook. So my question is that why our youth just go into those apps? Why don't they go into some other apps? Why don't they go into learning things? And you know how here we talk about the imposter syndrome. So maybe they have that, digital imposter syndrome, that they look at Harvard. Harvard offers so much free courses, but who is taking advantage of it? Who is actually going there and say, oh, let me register? And if they register, what do they actually finish it? Right? So I think that the challenges that we have are actually opportunities for us to see and seize. And that's kind of what we're doing with Africa Hacks. We want to present online technology learning as an opportunity. We want to craft those journeys for you so that you don't have to think about it. If you don't want to Google it, it's okay. We need to create those avenues to ensure that, some youth can access resources because we have, us being in a space where we have those imposter syndrome, everybody has it. So we need to understand that our people have this imposter syndrome. I remember when I had my first website, a lot of my peers, a lot of friends, oh my God, you have a .com, but .com is like, so everybody has it. You know what I mean? So really, what we do, we're partnering with Amazon, AWS, providing us, and YYZ, providing us domains, providing us the ability to host some of those entrepreneurs' dreams. So for us, for me, I see challenges, but those challenges has to be opportunity. We need, as opposed to talking about the problem, we need to say, okay, what are you doing? What can we do to tackle the solutions? And I feel like I already gave a lot of different examples because I don't think it would take Africa Hacks. It would take a lot of people to come together, whether it's through a platform or whatever, it would take a collective impact for us to be able to hack not only the access to internet, but also the mentality. We need to rebrain our brain. We need to kind of rewire our brain for us to believe that we can also achieve the same level of success that a youth can do in America. And I don't see the problem. I don't see the problem. Yes, we have our challenges and all those different things, but I mean, challenges is what makes us who we are, and that's gonna shape our story. So I feel like, as opposed to there's this foreign aid mentality that they need our help, like they know what they're doing. Like I'm speaking, some of my team members that I'm speaking with are in Nigeria. I'm speaking with 19 years old from Nigeria, coding stuff, and I'm just like, what in the world? Like I'm just like, what? Like, and some people would just think that some kid in Nigeria or maybe starving and things like that. But why don't we focus on the kids that are actually connected, the kids that we can use them as advocate, as ambassador of what we're trying to do. And they are going to tell to their other friends how they did it, right? So I feel like this is the spirit that we need to inspire in our youth to, be together, come together, whether you're from Nigeria or Mali or Guinea, find a way to come together and, find solutions together, because we're all in this together, from the north to the south to the east to the west. We all have the challenge that we're facing. We all know what they are. And as opposed to just focus on that, let's just focus on creating our community, our sustainable businesses. Because think about it, as opposed to how many years have we been donating, sending food? Like, yes, I love this thing and I appreciate that, but let's do it in a way that, yes, you give food to the people that actually need it the most, but then the other side, you have a way to create sustainable communities. And I don't think it's, even agriculture, like, help those people go online, make their businesses online, make a way for them to reach global markets, because that's kind of, we saw how all companies are growing because they're able to reach global markets. So for us, it's like, that you have 60% of African youth in Africa. How can we harness them for them to understand technology so then they can be part of this global market, this global economy that's being built around the digitalization of the world? So I think that it's a challenge, but it's the biggest opportunity that us African, we need to understand that this is our mission. We need to understand that if we don't do anything, like I don't want to, if any African are hearing me, like if you are trying to find, just add me on LinkedIn. I will find a way to, to bring you involved into our initiatives. And so that in 20 years from now, all of us can say, yes, I remember I did something, because it's in our hands right now. It's no longer our parents. Our parents did what they had to do. They were going to colonization. They were going to independence. Now it's into us, into our hands. And we need to take the matter into hands. We need to do everything that we can to ensure that, the opportunity that we had to leave the continent, we can bring those resources back, whether it's you want to go back or you do it digitally. And there's a lot of way that even the government of Canada are helping us doing that. So it's
Yes.
not like, it's not like you're saying, no, 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 no. There's a lot of, in Canada,
You
we're
have the support.
exactly, we have the support. They understand that most Canadian are immigrants. They know that. We know that, right? We respect our indigenous community, and we are always trying to make space for other people to also be able to bring forward the value and what they've learned of the Canadian culture into elsewhere. So I think that in Canada, Canadian are the most African living in Canada. We are the 4 point of this. We need to take the matter into hands. I don't know. I think you agree,
Yeah,
right?
I agree. I agree with you. I'm just listening because I'm just everything you're just saying it blow my mind and it's very interesting. And I love the fact that you are talking about coming together to build the new Africa. You know, we have complained too much. We have talked too much. It's up to our generation to stand up for Africa, to go to get to grab the degree we need, to go to grab the training you need, and to contribute to the development. And I'm the a person that believe that this new generation, we are in a 21st century, is technology.
Mm-hmm.
We are in a generation of technology. As you said, the fathers, the grandfathers have done their job. Our job today is to, exactly. So I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And so, how, in your perspective, how can we support women in tech?
Yeah, so very interesting. So yesterday, it's just so interesting that you talk about it because a lot of every time I go, people talk about this. I'm like, yeah. So right now at Africa Hacks, what we do is when we do hackathons, we are always encouraging to have a 50-50% split. But what we start realizing is that even though we encourage, we don't see a lot of women applying. So it means that they have this imposter syndrome that I'm talking about. So basically, we need to find a way to break down what
Mhm.
technology is. And I hope I share this into a lot of my groups. Let me actually share this to ensure that yes, you see someone has just commenting. Bridget, she's online, she's looking at it. So a lot of thank you, Bridget, for joining. So what's happening is that I realize that a lot of our women in Africa, it's not like they don't understand. It's just that the resources, like what you and I know about what tech is, we know it because we experience it. We know it because you work in an environment where tech kind of you start looking at tech, you start looking at softwares that are taking over, and you have a critical mindset, so you are able to to see what's happening. So really, basically, I feel like what's happening is up to us, you and I, to ensure that I am not necessarily a computer science major, but I have a way to, we need to find a way to, we know our women in Africa, they're entrepreneurs, right? We know that they're the one that's carrying the family. We know that they have a lot of informal entrepreneurship. We know that some of the entrepreneurship are not even registered.
Mhm.
So having this information, how can we bring those women into tech? Then I was talking with my team that our strategy in attracting women in tech has to be different. It has to go with entrepreneurship, because now the entrepreneurship, we know that our women are successful. They're doing it. They're running the businesses. We don't even know how to do. They do the thing. They call their friend. They just do it. They go out like that. So right now, the question is, how can we empower them to amplify what they're doing? And we can do it through bringing the business online, making sure they have a .com, making sure you can find them online. So the same challenges that Black businesses in Ontario are facing with the mama pop shop, where they have a shop, you know what I mean? They have a shop on Eglinton, the shop is not online. Our African, not even women, but our African community are facing the same challenges. And I feel like if we start with women in Africa, how can we bring them in tech, is how can we take African women entrepreneur, teaching them how they can leverage technology software to make sure that their businesses they amplify the voices. So I'm thinking about email marketing, I'm thinking about newsletter, I'm thinking about chatbot. So when they sleep, we create something. So So basically doing it this way, and they will love to be involved in that, because when you introduce a tech, oh my God, what is tech? But when you introduce her tech in her work, how they can say, oh, you're saying if I do this now 100 people open my email. Oh, now they click in there. Oh, okay, let me change it. You know what I mean? So now making sure that the communication style, because if we don't have those type of entrepreneur, then tomorrow they're going to be the one that will be losing. Do you understand? Because the business won't be online, and some people might take some of the businesses. So I know that a lot of our businesses are on Facebook page now. I'm talking with a lot of women right now. Yesterday I joined this, I'm joining a lot of women, African women's group. And when I joined, I kind of introduced myself. And what I did yesterday is we created a specific group for African women in tech. And the first question that I had was from, well, I am not in tech, but I started talking to this lady, and I'm like, well, you have a business, you have a Facebook page, but where's your website? Oh, the website is being redone. So you see, if you keep on waiting for the website to be redone by someone else, how can you take yourself into the website? So helping them even understanding creating the website, being creative, so then they have this ability to get into tech. So I feel like the first thing is bringing your website, because your website, creating a website is technology, HTML, whether it's CSS, whether it's like how WordPress, it's technology. So getting the basic rights. And I feel like once you give them this fire, this technology, now they can now with the kids, they can now say, oh, your mom did this, can you help me do this? You know what I mean? And this is how we can now start changing conversation, where moms now, as opposed to having your mom, or you were always following your mom. I was one of those kids, following your mom everywhere. Now don't you want to have a kid that can help, oh, mom, I did a group, we had 1 million hits. Everything sold out on your online platform. You understand? So taking this conversation is so that the moms are, they have the awareness of what technology, especially marketing technology, can change in their current businesses, so they can take this to their kids and have the kids learning the stuff that they can learn. You know what I mean? Because they're like, oh, I'm busy with this thing. So, hey, can you learn social media and make sure that you can do this? This is the courses, okay? You have 2 weeks, do it. Do you understand? So really start having those type of conversation. And I feel like if we start having those type of conversation, mother to child, and in the spirit of building a family businesses, then we'll be able to, like, I feel like that's when we move the needle even a little bit more. Because when you just touch the youth, yes, the youths are there, but mommy doesn't really know what you're doing. But now the mom is very empowered in technology and what it can do, so that she can even empower a kid to, like, okay, this is what you have to learn. Christine told me this, go learn this, and then you learn that. So I feel like being able to do things like that will bring more women, like in a very, like, we have to start from the basic, and from that point, then seeing women into high tech, because mom even had a .com. You understand? Because now you remove the imposter syndrome of this, because we have to think about internet, about how you went, when you the first time you saw snow. You know what I mean? Like, we have to think about internet this way too, right? So now internet is just like, oh my God, those websites so cool, but you can build this too. So really empowering the women to start by building a website, because it's an internet property, it's a .com. And I feel like when that's done, then we can start a conversation.
So you encourage more women to have women in business to have the website, not only Facebook, because now Facebook has replaced website. Nowadays, people don't want to pay, someone to do that for them, because they like you said, like, for them it's complicated, tech, coding, all this stuff.
But you know what happened though? You know what happened though is when you don't have a website though, is that now let's say you're selling something on your Facebook, and I'm looking for, and someone knock it off, and she had a website, or he or she have a website, and the website, they have blogs, and they knock off your product, they're talking about it every single day, but you think that you're doing so much because you're posting something on Facebook, but you're not doing anything, because someone else is taking your business, is taking your personality, is taking your identity, is taking your property intelligence, because they're out there, the SEO is working for them, showing that they have your product. And because you let them, you let that room, you let that space, tomorrow you will come back, you will Google your product, and who you're going to see, you're not going to see yourself, because you've been talking into a Facebook page, into a Facebook group, and everything just stay there. It doesn't come up on the SEO unless Facebook start having Facebook websites. Do you understand? But until they do that, unfortunately, if someone comes and knock off your product, they're going to be on top of your own product because the SEO have been working so well that they're now above you.
Okay, that's fantastic. Like
This is
it's
an example, that I took. We could take another different example, but this is kind of the example that I'm taking because I'm more into marketing and technologies.
no, I understand. Like you said, we need to remove the symptom of impostor and then just trying to do something like have your website
Yeah.
and
Mm.
do things differently.
Mm.
But what do you think about? Do you think that the business in tech is lucrative
Yes, because
or career, business or career?
yes, I think you say it again.
Do you think how lucrative is the career or business in tech?
The what?
How lucrative is the career or business in technology?
Well, let's just Google it. Like, let's just be honest. Like, tech is the most lucrative. Is the most lucrative. If I knew, like, for me, even when I went to school, I had this imposter syndrome that made me think that there's certain things I can reach.
Yeah.
So when I say this, I found myself into this situation, and I'm no longer this way. I feel like I've disempowered that thought, and I've empowered the thought of me being able to be in that space and me earning my seat at the table. And the best way to do it is through courses, online courses. Udemy offer courses, Coursera offer a bunch of free courses. Google Digital Marketing offer free courses. There's a free Google Digital courses to have for free tool for you to learn how to do SEO. And you say how lucrative is the business. So I'm going to say something. We talk about technologies, but let's say technology is everything. Right now, we're connected to a computer. The computer is connected to a Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is connected to connectivity to social media. The most lucrative, when I say lucrative, it's not the most affordable tech initiative that you can do. The reason I say tech initiative is because you're online. So it's already technology, right? So, and just, and especially we're talking about the African market. So even starting your YouTube channel, YouTube
Yes.
channel with free, the ads are there. People are getting money. People
Yeah.
are getting money. Like if you love talking, start your YouTube channel. If you feel like on Facebook, everything that you do, you have 10,000 views. But what are you doing on Facebook? Go on YouTube and actually start having grow your the YouTube space. I'm saying this out loud, but I need to start my YouTube channel as well. But the funny thing is, I started a YouTube channel at the very early stage. My mom used to be like, "Why are you online?" Like that. So I really was doing it, but not really. But when I think about it, my mom would say like, "Christine, you had at least 10 blogs." It's the truth. I had 10 blogs. In the Skyrock time, every country I moved to, I changed a new blog. Hey, this is my new blog. But I never took myself seriously because, Francophone people were like, oh yeah, we're just there, we're talking. But what I like with the Anglophone culture of tech is that it's a culture of tech that they're looking for the opportunity and they're looking for how to get money and fast. So the fastest way to get into that space of connectivity is even started with your own YouTube channel.
Yes.
The second way is if you have an idea, and nowadays ideas, in order to be shared, they need to be connected somehow, somewhere. If you have any ideas, the all ideas that you think you have that are making money, don't go and share it with people that you know that first they want to invest into your business, and two, you know that in the past they have not been too supportive with your ideas because they're gonna crush it, so that they're gonna make it look like whatever it is, so that you won't even go further in your idea. So I think that the fastest way to get into tech is for you to have an idea,
Mm-hmm.
have the idea and find a way to build the idea. And most likely, the best way to build ideas is to join hackathon communities online, or to join early stage programs that will actually help you, such as AfricaHacks, will actually help you to take your idea from a project to companies and help you make it lucrative. So I think there's a lot of opportunities that out there. It's really up to what is your interest, and after your interest is how are you going to reach your customer, because it's great to have an idea, but it's also important for you to know how you're going to reach those people and how you're going to sell this idea to people as well.
Absolutely. So when is the moment? Because you are a co-founder of AfricaHacks and Nuna
Nanuric.
Nanuric. Yeah,
Nanuric mean
Nanuric. What that?
so
Yes. What's the meaning of? Yeah.
basically, me and my co-founder were kind of really looking about what, like how, where we want to see ourselves. And Nanuric mean la nation numérique,
Okay.
right? Nation, N-A, there's a numeric nation in French. So
Okay.
N numeric, Nanuric. Yes. That's
It's beautiful. It's a
yeah.
beautiful name. So as a co-founder of Nanuric and Africa Hacks, what is a major challenge you face as a startup founder?
I think as a startup founder, again, because we're in the digital space, everybody can be a startup founder. Then you have your own. For us at Nanuric is to start selling the product, but as we build the product, we have a consulting firm that's there to consult, that's there to help people understand the challenge of technology. So we have a consulting firm that's there. But the
Yeah.
biggest challenge is as the entrepreneur face is that they feel like entrepreneurship is a 9 to 5 jobs. No. If you want to have a 9 to 5 job, please continue having your 9 to 5 job. Have your entrepreneurship on the side and only be 100% committed or want to do it once you start having fundings and things like that, but always have your 9 to 5 job and don't expect your entrepreneurship to be to a 9 to 5 job. Entrepreneurship, it's a lifetime
Yes.
investment. Don't expect to get earning from the first year or 16, don't expect all of those different things. So for us, we don't really see any challenges because we already know, we have accepted the challenges, we accepted how things are, and we were finding ways around it. As I said, I'm a consultant, and I'm a consultant, and recently, I won't hesitate to go if tomorrow someone comes and say, "Hey, Christine, we have this opportunity for you." I won't hesitate to go back because I know exactly how I can land back into my fit. So I think the biggest challenge is that people feel like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna start a startup. I'm gonna be funded $100 million." Da, 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 da. Like no, like even if you have $100 million, that's gonna be at your table. Like ensure that you're not gonna be left out of this table in the next year. So you really need to even look into that money that's being presented to you from the get-go. So I think the biggest challenge as entrepreneurs is for them to realize, what exactly are they doing, and it has to be intentional. Don't do entrepreneurship and want to have money directly. If you want to have money directly through tech entrepreneurship, as I mentioned, do e-commerce or be online influencer. This you will see money as you go. But then if you have an idea, the idea will need to have a vision. Like think about Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, when he started, he went to 30 people and asked them to, I think, donated each. I forgot. I think that they asked them to donate 1 million or something. And then some people say no, and the people that say no right now, they're crying because Amazon is the #1 company, right? So I think work on your vision, find your tribe, and love them hard, and roll with them.
Amazing. 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 Um, so what about we are talking about entrepreneurship right now. So when is a moment you can consider yourself as a business owner? It is when do you do your first sales or when you incorporate your business.
I think business owner, let's like when you incorporate your, it's a touchy subject, but I think that when you incorporate your business, because let's face it, we know a community, we know how people don't really incorporate the businesses, right? And they might own it, but they don't really own it in front of the law. So in front of the law, when you become a business owner, is really when you incorporate your business. And the first year, even though you're not making money, but the expenses that you're making, are still part of your income taxes. So really a business owner, you can call yourself a business owner the moment you incorporate your company and the moment you're building structures around your company in order to make money. And also, a lot of companies, take the times in building the framework and building the product that they want to create. And sometimes not sometimes, but the government are actually giving programs in place to help those companies to better scale, to better tell the story, to better design the product, and they give them that room to grants, to things like that. So I think it's always good to register your business to register your business, because if you don't register your business, then there's no way you can have access to those grants programs or those economic relief programs that's currently available with the government of Canada.
Absolutely. When you are registered opportunity out there, so it's better. And yeah, it's definitely the best things to do. Um, so I know we've been talking about a lot of things, but I'm curious to know, because your business, it's I guess you just incorporated a couple months ago, and I would love to know, how do you manage or survive, uh, how your business is managing or surviving during this COVID-19 pandemic.
So for us, we incorporated in the middle of a pandemic. I was just like, let's
Oh,
do
oh, okay.
yeah, I was just like, it's so weird. I was just like, what? Let's just do it. I think I'm how do I say that? I think I'm a person that loves to strive in the middle of a crisis. Like I will always try to find a way to put my head on top. And for me, that pandemic, it's so basically what happened is that I've always wanted to have my own thing. I've always wanted to be able to, yes, I'm working left, right, there, but I've always wanted to have my own entity, so that this is my consulting firm. And yes, this is what it is, because we need to have and unless I have people paying me $6 million income per year, like I have to find different ways to bring different stream of income. So I start really thinking before the pandemic, really start thinking about, oh my God, what am I going to start? I really want to start a business. And it's funny because I was actually working into incorporating a different sort of businesses, and the businesses was around celebrating cultures, African culture. So the pandemic showed that that was not a business idea, that was a charitable cause, right? So then that's why I was like, oh my God, I'm really happy that this kind of pandemic kind of went here, because I was at the point where, because there was so much information that we were receiving in Toronto, so much event that were going, I feel like the pace was going way fast. And, it was for me, I'm someone that's very upbeat, because the pace was going too fast, very hard for me to really concentrate into finding my skill and knowing, like, this, how can I make an impact? So when this COVID-19 really came in, I was like, okay, Christine, there's certain things that you can no longer do because of the situation that's in, and thanks God you actually did not incorporate, because if you were incorporating, then now you will have been known for someone that do those type of activity, if you know what I'm saying. So I was kind of happy that I this time I took time to really think about it, and I took this time to say, okay, Christine, you really do need to do something so that you can say that you did something and you're working towards something. And for me, I was like, okay, let me get all my strengths, really doing a SWOT analysis of me, my strength, my weaknesses, my threat, my opportunities,
Yes.
and really looking at the people around me that wants to join me on this. So I have so then I was talking with my friend who's a blockchain engineer, and he's like, okay, this is what I can bring you to do. And I was talking to another friend that was doing this and da. And I was like, okay, since I'm a project manager and I'm able to manage high-tech projects as I've been doing, so why not creating a firm? In the long term, we're think tank innovation lab. In the long term, we'll be creating product, and we're developing some product to answer the challenges I'm sharing. But in the meantime, we can have a consulting services so that people want to consult us in different ways, and especially in emerging economies in emerging African countries, then we can kind of help them out. So in doing this, I was able to be a part of the African Union Youth consultation on innovation, and informing them on the opportunities that we have in harnessing technology, and then how we can make us tell a better story about who we are and where we want to go. So I feel like for me, I saw it as an opportunity because again, yes, I see the challenges, but I'm a type of person that kind of want to to look at the opportunity and to see above the challenge and see, okay, yes, this is the challenges. Okay, this is what you can do. And in doing that, and then I pitched it to my dad, like, hey dad, this is what we're doing. Let your friends know that I'm doing this, and let me know if if the clients comes in and whatnot. So I think for us for me was to really be able to do this. And the next thing for me, the next challenge is to really start building those products, and being able to get that customer acquisition, and being able to share the product that we're building, and be able be able to do that. So I feel like for us the opportunity was the challenge, and now the challenge is to actually now start releasing the product and really start being out there.
Absolutely. There's two type of people. There's the one that in the midst of crisis or situation that complain, and there's those like you, go takers, that just saw opportunity everywhere. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so
And
proud of
I complain too.
I know, but you don't complain too much. You don't sit complaining too much. Maybe you complain a bit and then you go to get what you need to get. So
Yes.
I really appreciate that in your personality.
In fact, I don't complain, but I just say this is not right, this is not right. But I have to say that I do this a little bit too.
Yeah. And since I can see that energy. Like the first time I met you, I was like, this woman, I just love her energy. I love her. And then the people are just confirming with me on the chat right now. I can see one of the person on the
Because I
on
can.
the live saying that she loved your energy. So
Oh, thank
your energy is contagious, and then we need people like you who can contaminate, people to strive for the best, to do their best, and to be a change maker in their community and society. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of your works and everything you do. And I wish that your businesses will encounter success. And then I hope that every project you have in Africa and even in Canada, will succeed. So
you.
that's my wish for
Same
you.
for you. Same for you. Same to you. I'm really happy I kind of met you, and I remember when we met.
Yeah.
We had an interesting chat, and I'm really happy that we're now able to see ourselves in the future.
Yes, absolutely.
Online.
Yeah. So we think alike. So yeah. So that's the reason why we are here today, and I appreciate you. You are really a woman of impact.
Oh,
That's
thank you.
definitely.
Thank you.
So I would like to ask you, what is the leadership advice you can give to a woman or anyone listening to you today? Women, youth, or anyone listening to you today?
I don't think. Okay, I think that the one thing I can say is go and get it. Like I always say this, like everything that you want, like go and get it and manifest it. I think um I am where I'm at right now is because I was able to manifest. I was able to wish it hard for myself, and I was really able to find ways, whether it's making money or it's not. Anything that you want and you get it, you have to be very thankful for that situation. And the next thing, and I know it's hard, is now you need to visualize a number. You need to visualize how can you now monetize this idea of yours. So I know it's hard, and I'm saying this to you, and I'm saying this to myself as well, that us youth, women, people in minorities, we need to start thinking rich. We need to start thinking ourselves in, visualize, not necessarily with cars and all the different things. No, we need to start thinking ourselves as economic operator that can empower other people. So I feel like when you think this way, that's kind of my leadership style in order to be able to impact people's life economically as well, because I feel like as women, we've been impacting people's lives in all different ways, but now we need to find a way to get into those economics room so that we can continue those type of impact. So I think for me, my one advice that I always give is, go and get it. I know it's very I know it's a simple thing, but really go out and get it and find your tribe. Once you find your tribe, you find your support, you find your people, go and get it with them. And another leadership advice I will also see, and especially because of the pandemic that we're in, whether you believe it or you don't believe it, like just take this moment, align yourself globally so that you're protecting yourself at the same time. You're protecting yourself at the same time. And in this pandemic, take this moment for you to really see where you see yourself in the next 5 years. Where do you want to go? Online, like now we're telling you that you can now send emails to people, you can now send LinkedIn requests. Hey, come and can we do a coffee, can we do a quick coffee Zoom chat, bring your coffee, let's chat, you know what I mean? So really take this moment to be responsible enough, responsible for your life. So I think the advice it's really around you. You are your own leader, whether you're a mother, whether you're a big sister, whether you're the youngest sister, the youngest siblings, whether you have a business, whether you have a non-for-profit, be that own leader, that person at this moment, because people are looking up to you. Whether you like it or not, but there's other people that are looking up to you. So it's up to you to be responsible enough to take the decision that you're proud of, and you're proud of, so that people, when they look at the decision that you took, they're like, oh wow, I'm happy she took those decisions. So I think that you have your destiny in your own hands, and don't think that someone is going to handle you, your power, like someone that's going to handle you, your revenue and things like that. You are the person that's going to handle all of this, through you, through the people that are supporting you, and through the doors that you're able to open for yourself. I think that's kind of like, yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. Yeah.
And that's a great advice. Thank you so much. So, who are the person that you are looking up to in the tech industry, or in the business in general? The woman that you look up to in the tech or business industry.
I think the woman that I look up to in the business industry is my mom.
Oh,
Yes. No, I really say that because like I don't spend my time in. Yes, I will look into some. I will look to a bunch of different women, look at how they got to where they got to, and for me, in order to look up to you, you need to empower me in a way. Whether it's through your words, whether it's through your action, whether it's through the things that you're doing. And for me, I think even though my mom is not necessarily in tech, but she's in that space. My mom she was a teacher. She was teaching like how to say that, engineering, like comment ça, technical sewing in the polytechnical school in Cameroon. So somehow, and when I look at these, people just think that sewing clothes is just sewing clothes. Those people that are doing today, they don't know how to do it. Because when I look at my mom, I was like, was this mathematics? What the hell are you doing? I'm like, what the hell is this? She take this thing. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm doing your skirt. You're doing my skirt, and you have to do all of those things. So you see that you now start realizing that, our own moms, the one that's been suing, the one it's not just suing, it's a lot of technical skill that you need to know so that the clothes is going to suit you. See, there's a lot of technical skill that was already there. So I feel like I look up to my mom because that's kind of where she started. And then, when she got into a point where she was, doing hats for the prime minister, the wife of the president in South Africa and Mozambique, she was doing hats for them when we were living there. So when I see this, I'm like, and she's so humble that she never even wanted to have a website. She's like, no, I'm just doing my things. So don't think you guys just do your own. I'm just doing my things. And from that, she was able to build a own Airbnb hotel in my country, in Cameroon, in Douala. And in the neighborhood I will live, it's one of the only one that's there. And be able to see that she was able to do that through her first profession, which was being a fashion designer. I also enter her decor, and seeing that she keep on redesigning, reinventing herself. After that, she started doing like cake. business, and she was selling cakes to people. And after now, she would tell me that she has a full storage apartment. I feel like, it's a story to be inspired from, and I always look up to her because I'm like, wow, this is very inspiring. And I'm like, I want to be able to say that, okay, I've saved that much. And because, building a unit of full storage, and from where you started as a fashion designer to where you're at right now. And my dad, when you look at it, is like, what? We just look at him like, what? And I had to tell my mom, you are an entrepreneur. Like, do you know? She's like, oh, really? Okay. So I had to like really let her know.
Definitely an inspiration.
I had to let her know. She said, Christina, your thing, she's always like, come, whatever, just do your thing. Da, 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 da. So I always have to let her know that, mom, you're an entrepreneur. Like, I had to come to my mom, okay, if you don't want to be an entrepreneur, let me run that business. I'm going to go for the meeting that you don't want to go to. So I start going for the meetings that she didn't want to go to and things like that. As I feel like, our moms, especially the moms that was raised, from my mom was a stay-at-home mom, but she was not just staying at home, she was an entrepreneur. And
Yes.
today you're looking at it like a lot of we're asked to stay home. So a lot of women, that I had the full-time job, the 9 to 5, are becoming just like my mom. But my mom she has a business that she was running at the same time she was raising us. And a lot of ladies, that some people that are like, oh my god, I want my life back, I want to send my kid back to to kid, to nursing and things like that. But a lot of African mom are very happy now that they have the kids at home, because maybe it reminds them of their own mom that was at home with them running their own businesses and their own side things at the side. So I feel like definitely this moment that we're in, I cannot think about someone else than just my mom to be inspired to be that moment, especially when they say lockdown. I'm the one that was calling everybody back home saying, you better stay home and listen online. I'm like, you better stay home. When she visited, I would call people and say, okay, I know my mom came today, you stay home. So, I think that it was very funny that, this whole pandemic happened, and then I had to remember, and I remember my mom raising me. She's like, Christine, one day you remember all the stuff that I used to tell you. I'm like, yeah, I'm waiting for that day. But that day happened in the pandemic, because of every time everything happened, I'm always waiting for that day to happen. So that when that pandemic happened, they like stay at home. And the way I was raised, it was like, Christine, when the sun comes down, you better be at home. So the way I was raised, I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and just like, you stay, we have to start home. Okay, easy. Let me just go into how I was actually raised and just stay at home. A lot of people were like calling me thinking that, oh, it's going to be very hard for me because, I was being in this space. But for me, before I got here, I was really a stay at home person, really around my mom, going around with her and helping her scale her businesses. So for me, I feel like when I think about it, I want to be in a space where I'm also able to run a business and also be able to, from a business to run another business to another business to another business. So I think that that's very inspiring. And it really inspired me, every single day. So that's why I say that, technology is, your inspiration can come from anywhere. As long as you have that drive and passion, you just take this back and you fill it back into your purpose and what you're trying to accomplish right now.
I can see that she has left. No, she transmitted to you like her heritage, like her dynamism. She's really definitely an inspiration from everything you just explained, like starting from little and to having big stores. That's definitely sometimes you don't have to look outside of our box or of our home. There is people that raise us. They can definitely be an inspiration for us, and then we can look up to them and embrace the anything that is positive from them, right? So kudos to your mama. She has done a fantastic job.
Thank you.
So we have come to the end of this series of conversation. I'm really thankful and thank you for being here. And it was such a pleasure to have you on this series of conversation. You definitely empower me, and there is a lot of comment. I can see people really are
Any questions?
interacting, exciting.
Do you have any questions from the audience?
Um, from the audience, let me see. I've had one question. one question says, you, wait a moment. I guess I saw one question.
That's okay. I mean,
Let me check it. Um, I'm not sure that
oh, my mom is.
your mom is here. Oh wow. I haven't seen any questions, but you can, if you like to close with whatever you have in your heart or mind, just
Yeah,
share it before we close the conversation.
yeah. So what I want to share is that, as women, let's continue to, be together, work together, and, let's not see ourselves as threats or anything like that. Let's find a ways to be able to build together. And as future mom, let's also find a way to be able to empower the younger generation as well. Be able, whatever you have, whatever you can do. And I always say that right now, because we are in this digital space, it can be to the amount of time that I spend on my Facebook because people are sending me messages, because I realize that in this moment a lot of people are feeling lost. So if people are reaching out to you, is because they believe you'll be able to provide this help from them. So that's why for me, I feel like in this moment I have to go above and beyond, because now you just have to stay home. There's nothing else. And I think it's a great moment to be in, honestly. Like, stay home, help people out, help people building up, and and be there for each other. It can be from a status. If you see someone posting something that's kind of negative about themselves. I remember yesterday I was talking with someone from one of those African women group that I've joined, and she was saying that I was sharing with her a lot of resources around the UN free courses and a lot of free courses around gender equality, and I'm like, yes, please make sure you share this with your network. She's like, oh yes, I will share it, but I have a small network. And I had to let her know, like, don't ever say that you have just a small network, because the people that you are able to impact around you, you don't know who they are able to impact as well. So I feel like it's through a collective impact that we'll be able to change the things that we want to see out there, especially with the reality that we know that we're facing. So as opposed to see those reality as obstacle, let's take them as challenge and resolve those challenges in proposing solutions that will change the narrative of one or two or three or five people. And what's the problem? At least we did something, so that tomorrow nobody is going to take away from you that you did not do anything for during this moment, to ensure that the people are getting the information that they need, they're getting the resources that they need. Because you and I both know that the youth that are in North America, the youth that are in the Western world, they have access to the internet, they have access to a wealth of knowledges, right? So because we know that there's a disparity, there's an inequality, and that inequality can be resolved through our platform. It can be resolved through your own cousin. Talk with your cousin, see, do they have an email address? If they have do they even know how to use an email address? Because those type of this this digital literacy, it's very important, because we said that yesterday, African culture, African youth were illiterate, but I speak my Douala, I speak my language. A lot of people, I'm sure you speak your main, your own language, and I think this is something that we need, like, when actually we're not illiterate, we speak our own language. So we need to ensure that right now we're going to be digital literate. That's a fact. This is something that's going to happen if we don't find a way to come in between and ensuring that people have access to those knowledge. And it starts with even an email address. It starts with the little things that you can do to ensure that people can access to online connectivity, and they can access to you, they can access to other people, not necessarily to Facebook, because we know that you and I were comfortable with people joining us on DM and things like that. But certain people, you won't have to reach them to DM. You need to send them an email, a professional emails. So I'm saying all of this to say that it starts with anything. Technology can even start with an email address, and ensuring that everybody in your family has a computer, everybody in your family can go online. Call your family, say, hey, who goes online? What courses have you taught? I know I have my cousin, she's in Douala. I call her all the time, and I'm like, you know what? I see that you're blowing up on Instagram. We are going to make a YouTube channel, whether you like it or not. I'm going to ensure that you have a YouTube channel. No, seriously, right? Because why not? Why not? You becoming an influencer, then become it. Don't just go out there and just become half influencer. Become it. Create a program. Have your ads going on there, and just make it happen. So I think that any ideas, feel free to add me on my social media. I think I'm going to comment here so that.
Yes, absolutely. I was about to ask you to left in the comments your website, how people can contact you, because you're doing you're a consultant as well.
Yes.
So left your information, and so people can get in touch with you for those who are in tech industry and that they are looking for funds to apply for startups. I know that you might maybe provide the right information for them or guide them. So
Perfect.
thank you so much, Christine.
Yes.
Thank you. You are amazing. You are a woman of impact. And
Christine, let me also share something. Someone said, how can I help with all that? I'm just reading the comments right now.
okay.
Let me just make sure I give everything. And I also started a fundraiser because you mentioned about the challenges, and I started this fundraiser because I realized that, okay, if I'm going to start doing this and that, then I need to ensure that, and everybody can do a fundraiser, everybody can really start doing something. But I feel like because we today we addressed the challenge, we spoke about the challenges, and I think my fundraiser kind of addressed some of the challenges, and I cannot be doing it by myself. But there you have a framework about how I'm doing this and how I'm thinking, how I feel like this is the solution. And this fundraiser was built on we received over 500 responses from our state of tech. And let me also share afterward the state of tech surveys. So if you have anyone that's in tech, they want to join the survey, so then we can continue getting those information about how can we bridge the technology gap for African youths that are interested in tech, African youths and women that are interested into tech.
Absolutely. And don't forget to send me the survey.
Yes, I will.
Okay, perfect. So thank you so much, Christine. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for all the information. And I'm really great. I'm really happy and thankful for your presence. And and I hope that we will meet again soon.
Yes, we will.
Definitely, we have lot of things to do together. So absolutely, we'll see each other very soon. So thank you so much, and I thank everyone who are watching us right now, or people that will watch it later. So thank you, and I hope you enjoy the conversation, and I hope that you will have all the answer of some question that we had. And if you want to reach Christine, there is info on the comment section, and she will be able to speak with you. So thank you, Christine, and I'll talk to you soon. And have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Mariama. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye bye.